Representative McConkey, I don't want to speak for your committee or your subcommittee, but I think that it was addressed by Bonifay and Stone.
I believe the majority is happy with what we.
Now can I move the question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we have a motion to move the question. Is there a second to that? Second. Okay, we'll call to move the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed?
No.
We have 2 opposed. All right. And I'll go ahead and any other debate on the question?
Can't.
If not, I guess it's not debatable at this point.
I would ask you to read it out loud so that we all understand exactly what we're voting for.
Here's the motion,
Karen?
I think.
Okay.
That the commissioners be authorized to spend $375,000 for the completion of the pellet boiler installation. The money is to come from the dollars left from the bond.
Correct. There are no questions about that.
When's the proper time to amend that?
I think we've passed the time to amend it.
They called the question.
The question's been called. And I will call the question, and I would also debate whether or not we need 2/3, but
Like a roll call.
Then you're debating
we'll
state
take a
law.
roll call. We'll take a roll call. And it will be 2/3 of the convention as present right now.
Mr. Chairman?
Should we go into convention?
Yeah, we have to have a vote to go into convention.
Make a motion to go into
convention.
Okay,
We
there's a
already have,
motion.
wait.
Well, we should, go ahead. We should
Yeah.
vote first, and then go
We
to convention.
already have a motion on the floor, and going into convention isn't a superseding motion.
No, we have to vote on this motion first. Then we will go into convention. That's the usual procedure. Or that is the procedure.
Yeah.
So we'll vote here and then go into convention.
Does this take 2/3?
If there's a point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. If we're not in convention and the paperwork says it's 2/3 of the convention, if it passes by a majority in the delegation, do we then go to the into convention and have the 2/3 vote? That's how I would read it. That's how I would read it. Or else I withdraw the motion and Harry withdraw the second. We go into convention, then I make the motion again, and Harry makes it, and then the only vote would be in the convention.
No, I think we would vote first in executive session. That's what we're in, actually, the delegation. And then we would go into convention. And I would also say that this is not an expenditure different from what we've already been involved in. This is part of the construction of the nursing home. It's been dealt with. The documentation is there. And it's the ruling of the chair that we will need a simple majority to go ahead and move forward.
What was the motion? Just a point of order. What was the motion, though?
The motion is
That the commissioners be authorized to spend $375,000 for the completion of the pellet boiler
I
installation.
protest what you just said, and I want a legal. I want something that is legal that says you're right before this vote can count.
Amen.
Except 2/3.
The money is to come from the dollars left from the bond.
I would advise you that since that is the motion, that you can't interpret it as it says as. I mean, I don't disagree.
Oh, okay. You said that.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I think Representative Baldwin just has a good point. The money coming from the bond, even though it is for the nursing home, we'll stay with the 2/3 vote of the convention.
We don't have 2/3.
Don't just change state law to make it suit you.
2/3 of the convention present. That was the agreement. That was the understanding. 2/3 of the convention present. So it'll be 2/3 of the members here.
Okay, Representative Algren.
But you should
I
let
vote
him
yes
know that he just
for that. but I'm also-
reversed yourself before he leaves.
Representative Babson.
Point of order, I'd like the motion.
We're in the voting mode.
To-
I don't think a point.
The motion wasn't read.
It was read 3
It was
times,
read- Yeah, it was.
Okay, all right.
but I will read it
I thought it
again.
was a different one. Never mind.
Go into convention. Did we vote to go into convention? Motion on this.
That the commissioners be authorized to spend $375,000 for the completion of the pellet boiler installation. The money is to come from dollars left from the bond. That was the motion.
Back to 2/3?
I think.
Okay.
Okay, this is a vote on that motion. We're not in convention. This is a vote on that motion.
Requires 2/3, am I correct?
Representative Babson.
Yes.
Representative Chandler. Representative Fleck.
Yes.
Representative Knox.
Yes.
Representative McCarthy.
No.
Representative McConkey.
Yes.
Representative Moreau.
Yes.
Representative Patton. Representative Pettingill, absent. Representative Scalia, absent. Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Tregenza.
No.
Representative Umberger, yes. Okay.
You don't have the 2/3.
So, do we have another motion?
What's the point?
That's the point, yeah.
Well, the point is that one of the people that voted no
8-2.
wanted to add something different to the amendment, or to the motion, which we didn't have occur because someone else called the question. So perhaps if we allowed a new motion to come to the floor dealing with the $375,000, we just might get everyone to agree. That's all. So that's why I'm suggesting that we have a new motion.
8-2, Joe.
Yep.
8-2, you had a count of 7-2, I thought. And
Yeah.
10
Isn't that
people
what we
here.
had? Do we have 7-2?
The count is 8-2.
It's 8-2.
80% of you voted in
Yeah, we
favor.
had 8-2.
Correct.
There were 10 of us here.
2/3
It's
is
8-2.
only 66.
Somebody did, I don't think you voted, Joe.
I did. I did vote. Everybody
It was
voted.
an 8-2
We,
vote.
I thought we stated, excuse me, that in order to pass the motion in executive session, we needed 2/3 vote.
That's what we had.
80%.
Yeah, it was not 7, it was 8-2.
Okay, I'm
It's-
sorry.
Double check.
Yeah, that's right.
You left out
Mr.
all.
Chairman, the only thing, I think you would get a unanimous vote if you would just change one thing, the word installation, so that we don't have two contracts for the same thing. If it said that they can spend $375,000 for preparing the building, yes, I would vote for it, but I will not vote for installation.
Okay, we do have, we do have a motion that's been passed in executive session. Do we have a motion to go into convention?
So make a motion, we go into convention.
We have it by Representative Babson and second by Representative Knox. Representative Umberger.
Yes, I certainly recognize where Representative McCarthy is coming from, and I would like to move, prior to the vote on this motion, to add an amendment that says preparation of the building. And, and whatever it was. And that way, I do feel that it would be helpful to all of us if we had a unanimous vote on this.
Okay.
Because then what that does is it takes away anybody's concern about whether it's legal or not. It is, 10 people constitutes 2/3 of the entire group. So I would like to make that motion, if someone will second it.
Well, just, excuse me though, just to be in order, we do have a motion to go into convention, so that's on, and it's been seconded, to go into convention. So I would like that person, if you would like to withdraw that motion, we'll re-vote an amendment in executive session. That's, I think that, and then we'll vote on the whole thing, we'll ratify in convention. So, would you withdraw the motion to go into convention? And withdraw the second? And
Yes.
perhaps, okay, yes, and,
Point of order,
yes,
are we required to duplicate the vote in convention that we had in executive session?
we have
Or
to
not?
ratify that vote in convention.
Okay.
I have a quick question. The 2/3 of the vote is the representative present, so it is not, nothing have to do with the 14 state reps, 2/3 of the 14.
It's the convention,
It's
is the
present now?
convention, we're only in convention when we are right here.
Okay.
We do not constitute a convention when we are not here.
So,
Okay, now, did you want to make
the amendment.
the amendment?
If I could.
Yes.
Okay. For the preparation of the building that is not covered under
Biomass contract.
biomass contract. Is that
Well,
okay?
that is covered by the Bonnet and Page
About the preparation
contract.
as per the BP&S requirement dated such a date
Do you
period.
want to, yeah, that, we can say that.
Yes.
Say that again, please.
But would amend the motion that the building will be prepared for the installation of the pellet boiler as per the BP&S contract submittal dated whatever date it is. It's pretty clear cut and not ambiguous.
Does everybody understand that? In other words, the contract states exclusions and so forth, other commitments, and that's what we are going by. Representative Babson.
I have a question. Is that assuming that Devron, who's gonna do all the electrical hookup, comes under the Bonnet Page preparation?
That's part of the
That's right.
contract.
Whatever the Bonnet Page states, which includes the electrical control system, will be installed. That's what the 375 is for.
Okay.
So then when our biomass folks come in, truly, all they have to do is hook it up.
Okay, so so we're saying that the commissioners be authorized to spend $375,000 for the completion of the pellet boiler building, period. The building will be prepared in accordance with the Bonnet Page and Stone contract dated 11 January 2012.
That's pretty clear cut.
Representative Merrill.
I just have a question, if I may, 'cause I'm not clear on this. The bonnet, we're gonna prepare the building, but the Bonnet and Page diagrams, which I'm still hung up on, which are attached to this contract, shows the boiler running through this building, and there's still gotta be heating ducts, and there's gotta be wiring and all this stuff going back to this boiler. But we're saying they can't do this, they can only make the holes in the walls and stuff for the
No.
tubes to go through. What's the cutoff here? This is what I'm not clear
It's
on.
what this contract says.
They're authorized to do whatever.
Everything this contract says? I'll buy that.
That's why I was asking the question.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
That's why I mentioned the contract and the date.
If I'm not misunderstanding this, the contract takes up where the biomass agreement left off. If everybody's in, if that's a good way to put that. Does everybody
And that's
see it that way?
exactly what BPS said on Friday.
Correct. Whatever's in the contract.
Okay,
Okay, are we ready?
I concur.
okay.
Everyone's nodding their head, moving quick.
Are we-
You say both.
Are we ready to call the question on this? Now, this is a vote, we're in executive session, so,
Like,
could you,
like Representative Umberger to read read the motion one more time.
Sure. I would be thrilled. That the commissioners be authorized to spend $375,000 for the completion of the pellet boiler, period. The building will be prepared in accordance with the Bonnet Page and Stone contract dated January 11th, 2012. The money is to come from the dollars left from the bond.
Okay, we'll call for the question, or the question's been called, and if you're in favor of those motion, we should do the amendment first.
No,
Oh, we already voted on it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do the amendment.
no, I mean, we've got a new motion.
Yeah, right,
on the
we have a new motion that's included in
Amendment by
the,
the motion.
right. It's not an amendment, this is a new motion, and it's all inclusive. All right, so if you're in favor of that, you'll say yes. If you're not, say
Roll
no,
call, Mr. Chairman.
and we'll have a roll call vote.
Representative Algren.
Yes.
Representative Babson.
Yes.
Representative Chandler is absent. Representative Fleck.
Yes.
Representative Knox.
Yes.
Representative McCarthy.
Yes.
Representative McConkey.
Yes.
Representative Merrow.
Yes.
Representative Patton is absent. Representative Pettengill is absent. Representative Scalia is absent. Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Tregenza.
Yes.
Representative Umberger. Yes.
Hallelujah.
I move we go into convention.
Okay.
Second.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to go into convention. All in favor of that, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? If not, then we are in convention, and we will call for approval on the motion that we just had in executive committee. So you want to call the roll again?
No, I want a motion by somebody.
Okay, that's true. Okay. Do we have a motion
I'll move,
to,
I can't remember what it says, but I'll move it.
Second.
well, Representative Umberger has it memorized.
Yeah, she does.
So she doesn't have to read it. But, okay, we do have a motion by Representative Merrow, a second by Representative Knox.
Okay, we're ratifying,
And we're to ratify the motion that we approved in the executive session.
okay, and who made the motion?
It was Representative Merrow, second by Representative Knox.
Okay. Do we need, oh, I guess we better have a roll.
We should have a roll call.
Okay. Convention. Representative Algren.
Yes.
Representative Babson.
Yes.
Representative Chandler is absent. Representative Fleck.
Yes.
Representative Knox.
Yes.
Representative McCarthy.
Yes.
Representative McConkey.
Yes.
Representative Merrow.
Yes.
Representative Patton, absent. Representative Pettengill, absent. Representative Scalia, absent. Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Tregenza.
Yes.
Representative Umberger, yes. Vote being 10-0. I move we come out of convention.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to come out of convention. All in favor of coming out of convention, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? No, we're out of convention. Do we have any other business?
How about if I move to adjourn?
Okay, I
Second.
think...
Wait, public input.
Oh, we have
We
public
have a couple
input.
of public input items here.
Thank you. Susan Wiley from Sandwich. First of all, I would like to commend you all for doing such a good job on this budget, and especially our department heads. And also like to refer you back to last week, a document that was distributed showing the tax rates for counties in New Hampshire. I think it's very important for people to notice that Carroll County indeed has some of the lowest tax rates in the state. It would be helpful to me when people take minutes, if they put their name on the bottom of them, so if they're coming out of subcommittee or coming from here, we know who recorded those minutes. I would also like to say that I feel very strongly that we have, in some cases, not done as much for our employees as we wish we could. And one of the things that has bothered me a great deal is hearing this conversation about people not being able to have their meals at their work site, or having to buy their meals at their work site. And I say, in the interest of efficiency, you understand that if you all had to go out to lunch, or had to buy your lunch, or had to pre-order your lunch, or get out your credit card or your debit card or pay for your lunch on this day, it would have made it a little bit more difficult for them. When people leave the jail, their work site, and they come back in, do they have to go through a search again? What happens over there if they leave? If we're saying that we're telling you you have to buy your lunch, how do we do that? Do we take it out of their paycheck? Do we have to record who eats when? And I say the same thing for the nursing home. It's in the interest of efficiency, I feel like we owe it to our employees at this point in time to give them their lunch. If we want to say, let's start donating for lunch, because there's 40,000 lunches that are given away free in a year, if that number is true, and some of them come from, those free lunches go to you all, and I'll pass this jar and ask that you donate for your free lunch today, and we'll turn that money over to the nonprofit nonprofit Mountain View Nursing Home, or Mountain View Community. It's wrong for us to have free lunch when we're saying our employees can't have free lunch. So I ask you to donate. Thank you very much.
You didn't say that.
Mr. Spencer.
Yeah, Henry Spencer from Effingham, New Hampshire. I have a question on the last delegation meeting. I was not able to come, and I'm very sorry, because something that did happen, I probably would have tried to stop it right then and there. You went, acting as chairman, you went into recess to confer with legal counsel, meaning, and you did stipulate that it was the county attorney. You went into recess. What's that?
I'm sorry,
what is it? I mean, there's no such thing under state law that allows a body to go into recess and then hold a meeting. You had a meeting. You had everybody, not just a quorum, but every single representative that was here for the actual meeting stayed in the room. The public was thrown out, and the media was thrown, or requested to leave, requested to leave, which they did do. And then you proceeded to have a 1-hour meeting. Under what auspices?
28A would have.
91A.
Excuse me, 91A would have allowed
okay,
that.
well, but that's not what you said. You went into recess. You did not call for a non-public session.
What I stated was that we were going to recess and have a discussion with the county attorney.
Right, in non-public.
I didn't state non-public.
I know, and so how did you hold a non-public meeting without stating that you were going to hold a non-public meeting?
Go ahead, Representative
Yeah. Meetings with attorneys are non-meetings.
Okay, I can accept that.
And
now,
under 91A, okay, and that states very clearly in there.
Okay.
And so what Representative Fleck said, we're going to recess the county, whatever we are. Delegation meeting, okay, until we finish with our legal counsel.
Okay, at what point did, who was he representing, the counsel, who was he representing?
He was representing only a legal opinion. He was not representing anyone. That was never the intention. We were seeking legal counsel, and we were authorized to do that on the statute.
Okay, and the minutes?
There are
no minutes for a...
no minutes were kept at that meeting at all?
No, you don't.
Minutes were not requested and were not maintained.
I don't think you have to.
No, absolutely
We've always
not.
been told by our town attorney that you can meet with the town attorney. It's like a non-entity. You don't have to.
Okay, may I suggest that meeting with the county attorney isn't the smartest thing to do, because essentially he represents the judicial branch of government. You represent the legislative branch of government. These are the executive branch of Carroll County's government. That's what they represent. So as the legislative branch of government, you brought in a member of the elected member of the judicial branch of government to advise you on what to do. You also brought somebody into a room for an hour because this was during the budgetary process, and you also brought somebody in for a 1-hour non-public discussion whose budget you were going to be looking at. And it strikes me as this, it's not that I think horrible things happen, but the appearance of that is wrong. And it puts the county attorney in a position, if this vote had gone differently today, and they did not hold up the contract, and we all of a sudden had to go to court to fight a contract, the county attorney wouldn't be able to be involved in it because he'd been 1 hour in camera with you. It is, the biggest problem I have here is, and the commissioners do it too, they say, we'll go talk to the county attorney. He's not the county's attorney, he is the prosecutor. Right? And the question I have for you is, when the county attorney comes in here, who gave him the authority to give you legal advice?
He didn't give legal advice.
You didn't.
There were legal opinions. There was
Okay,
no
but
advice. Excuse me, now, you
authority?
raised the question, would
Okay.
you please let me finish?
Yes, they will, yes.
Now, we did not ask advice on what action to take or not to take.
Right.
We asked for a review of contract and those kinds of things that seem to be, these terms have been brought up time and time again. What would a lawyer say in legal opinion? We were not asking him, never did ask him, to give us direction on what to do.
Okay.
The outcome of this vote today would never have been impacted by anything that was said in that meeting,
Okay.
and I don't think it was.
Okay.
We strictly wanted to get legal background. We are not lawyers, but we do have a lawyer here in the presence of the county attorney, and he could provide us input to embellish the discussion that we were having.
Okay.
And that's strictly all we never did ask him. We were well aware of the fact that he is part of the executive. We are the legislative. He was never to take part, our side, in any discussion, and that was the way it was left. Had we needed some other advice, we probably would have to have gone somewhere else to get it out of the county environment.
Okay. And the only other question I have on this is, when I looked under the RSAs related to the county attorney, there are two bodies that may direct the county attorney to do something. Right? One of them is the commissioners. They can direct the county attorney to do something. And the other is the attorney general. So I'm just wondering who directed him to come and offer you legal advice?
He was asked to come in. I can't say that I directed him or that the commissioners directed him, but he was asked to come in.
Right.
And that's what he did. Now, I don't count that as direction. It was a request, and he came in.
Okay.
Just as we might ask the sheriff to come in and provide input on something.
Right. The one way I can understand that this was a perfect, it's not that I think anything horrible was going on, but the one way that I do think that it is legal in Carroll County for the county attorney to practice civil law privately. That's why I asked, was he retained by anybody to represent or to give you legal advice?
No, he wasn't retained by anyone. He was strictly asked to come in and...
Okay, I'm picky about this because it strikes me as very important. All right, so if he was just asked, he was just a lawyer in the room, he wasn't really representing you or legally offering you advice, it was just a favor. Strictly having a lawyer in the room doesn't mean you have legal representation. I don't know if there are any
We were not
lawyers.
asking for legal representation. We were not preparing a case.
Okay.
We were not taking a stand on an issue. We were asking for somebody to bring in legal expertise, and that was the full extent of it. I mean, it was that simple. We were never mounting a case. We were never taking on a position. We were asking, we wanted to be free to ask questions. And that was the whole essence of that meeting.
Right.
We were never moving, there was never an intent to move forward against the commissioners or anyone else as far as that's concerned.
Right. And why was it felt necessary to do that in non-public?
Because
All
it
you're
was
looking
legal
for is
advice.
You can.
I mean, we don't really have to, go ahead, Representative McConkey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a document that showed Representative Patton citing an RSA that allowed us to take that action. I don't have that document. But I believe that was the basis in showing to the delegation that it was appropriate to do what we were doing. And I'm sure we could make that available.
Okay, was that recently?